Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open Hybrid, coming to you from Cherry Executive Suite. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Lady These Off will speak to Laughing Lovebugs founders, Alik and Lauren Colbert, as they discuss their mission to help people discover the joys and many benefits of laughter yoga. And then we'll be joined by actress and comedian Suni Reyes to discuss her latest film projects, such as HBO Max series Gordita Chronicles and American Carnage. Later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, this week's Open Artist Spotlight shines on singer and songwriter Jayye with a performance at the end of the show. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, welcome to Open Hybrid. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, for the next hour, coming to you from Cherry Executive Suite, inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. Our first guests are the Laughing Lovebugs, a husband and wife team. Look at them, they're giggling already. They're a husband and wife team of certified laughter yoga teachers. They lead sessions and programs for individuals of all ages. And their mission is to empower, inspire, and enlighten while helping people discover the joys and many benefits of laughter yoga. Here to share more are Laughing Lovebug founders, Alik and Lauren Colbert. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Hello, Rhina. So excited to be here.
All right. Woo! I am so excited to have you both on today's show. We're already started
exactly.
Thank you for having us.
You just have the aura about you. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're already sending it over here. We haven't even started. I warned you though. I'm already a giggler, so I'm like, company.
Yeah.
And coaches at that, laugh coaches.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try and get serious now, and so that I can ask the question of how you found laughing or laughter yoga as your practice. Like what makes a person decide to become a laughter yogi, right? It would be a laughter yogi because you're instructors, right?
Thank you for asking that question.
Very interesting story.
Yes. So we'll try to keep it brief, but basically we're going through a very dark period in our lives. Unfortunately, due to my poor stress management, I was experiencing health issues due to that stress, due to workplace stress, actually. And I was looking for unique, fun ways to relieve it. And also I wanted it to be a sustainable way that I would actually enjoy. So I Googled those exact words, unique ways to relieve stress, found laughter yoga. Now at this time, I've never heard of it. So I didn't know if it was a real thing. With further research, I found out that it was founded in 1995 by a medical doctor in India who found that there's many health benefits to laughter. I know we all heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is good for the soul. However, this is based on scientific research that laughter is in fact good for you, good for your mental, emotional, and physical health. And that's what laughter yoga is all about, improving your mental, emotional, and physical health, and laughing for the health of it. And
love it. I love it. And I want everyone to really grasp what she's saying. Okay, she's got statistics that show that laughter is really good for your health, right? And so I do want to introduce Alik because he's a very special individual, or at least I found out anyway. I mean, not that Lauren isn't, but Alik happens to be the great nephew of Flip Wilson. And I know that some of you may not know who he is, but we're going to show you pictures because that's amazing. And we're so honored to have you here, Alik.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me as well.
And so I brought that up just because it's like, okay, being raised in an environment where you have someone who is comedic, right? Well, the other side to that comedic way of living would be having somebody to laugh, right? So how has that influenced where you are now?
Well, it gave me the tools in life to cope with stressful situations with laughter. Our family has developed a sense of humor where we can laugh through almost anything. Our funerals are almost like comedic roasts. Our family uses laughter as a healing modality anyway, so being introduced to laughter yoga was just almost like a no-brainer.
So I want to get a little personal here because I know that you guys met on a dating app. See, I did my research. And I just want to know when you first started dating, because you kind of got married like, 8 months later, right? After dating or something like that?
Well,
Was it?
Actually, 4 years.
4 years.
After.
4 years after dating? Why did I read 8 months? Or maybe it felt like I was reading that you guys it was kismet, right? So
we got engaged and 9 months later we got married. Yeah.
I see.
Yes, that's where you
okay. Got it. All right. So I wasn't that far off. But I'm curious to know if that when you first came together, was laughter part of your relationship off the bat?
Yes. It was. And being in this practice, or actually having this business, is not only our business, it's our lifestyle now. So we live a laughter lifestyle. And with this laughter yoga practice, it really improved the quality of our relationship. Now, we always liked each other and loved each other, and we were always friends, best friends. But this element of laughter to help us to resolve stress in our relationship, tension.
It adds a lighthearted atmosphere to our relationship.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so, and then you're partners now, so you work together, and that, especially what we've all recently endured, right? Being together on top of each other all day long, every day. And so the fact that you guys are laughing practitioners, I just love it. I mean, I just wonder, like, if you're arguing and laughing at the same time,
Exactly. Yes. Instead of spewing those negative words back and forth at each other, which I used to be, unfortunately, really good at, because I had poor stress management. When I would be angry with Alik, I would drown in that anger. I didn't have a way to emotionally regulate myself. So what laughter yoga has done for our relationship is now I just do a laughter exercise called argument laughter. Instead of cursing each other out,
Oh, I like this.
And what that does is we're not just laughing and then, doing away with the argument. But what it's doing is allowing me to have an emotional circuit breaker in which I can laugh and then think clearly about what I want to communicate that was bothering me.
It provides an emotional reset in that argument. And the fact that you're laughing instead of spewing negative words, you don't have to apologize for whatever you said, because words are just sounds. So you replace those negative words with laughter, and then you eliminate that need for that apology for the things that you say during the argument.
Yeah. That you really don't mean. When you're arguing, you're very emotional and you say things that you don't mean. And I regretted doing that so many times. But since laughter yoga practice and becoming laughter professionals, that's no longer an issue in our relationship, which helped to improve the relationship tremendously. Because although he forgave me after I apologized for saying things that I didn't mean when I was angry, it still caused like an emotional blockage in between us bonding with each other, because he's still thinking about that thing that I said when I was really angry. And he thinks that, you really meant it in that moment.
Referencing words from the argument, that we didn't mean, or didn't intend to hurt the other person, it really eliminates that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love this. I love this. I'm loving all of this. And so I wanted to now ask, because we were just discussing laughing, what do you call it? Laughing arguments. I don't know what your terms are, but I do know that you offer sessions for like couples and groups. And so I wanted to just talk about that a little bit so that our viewers grasp a better understanding of what these services are. And also, can you also clarify as to whether any postures are included, because, when you hear yoga right away, you're thinking of poses.
Yeah. So we're going to answer that question in reverse. So,
Okay.
yeah, Rena, this is very common that many people hear laughter, yoga, they think, oh,
Flexibility.
yeah, I have to bring a yoga mat. Oh, we're doing poses.
Special clothing.
Yeah. But this is the great part about laughter yoga. It's unlike your traditional yoga session. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need to be flexible. We're not doing any poses. All you need to be is a willing participant. Bring your ability to laugh
and breathe.
And that's all. We all can laugh and breathe. But the best part about this laughter is that we do not rely on humor, jokes, or comedy. We're actually choosing to laugh for the health of it. So it's not relying on any conditions. This is why you don't even need to be in a good mood. You don't have to have a sense of humor.
No.
You don't have to have a reason to show up in a laughter yoga session. So you don't have to wait for the stress to stop. You can actually
fake laugh.
Yes.
Right. And it still has the same impact, right? Is what I read in some of your writings, that the body doesn't know the difference.
Exactly.
Right.
Between real laughter and fake laughter.
I love it. So we're running out of time, and I so want to do the demo before we run out of time. Because after I was scrolling through your stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to try that. So can we just share with our audience what we're about to demonstrate so that they understand this concept or have a better understanding of the concept?
Sure. So we hold laughter yoga sessions for all walks of life, all ages, corporations, children, couples, and we are going to share a laughter yoga exercise example. This one is really easy to do. It's fun. It's an interactive exercise, and it's called laughter cream.
Laughter cream. Imagine that we got a delivery in the mail with some laughter cream from Amazon. The properties are that when you rub this on your skin, when it touches your skin, it releases laughter in you. So when you rub it on, we're going to imagine that we're squirting it out on our hands, and then we're going to rub it. And then when we apply it on our skin, we laugh uncontrollably. Very good. Very good. Yay!
Thank you for releasing those happy hormones of
dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins.
You just released that by just applying laughter cream. So thank you, Rena.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alik and Lauren Colbert. Laughing Lovebugs, you guys. For more information on their services, you can visit laughinglovebugs.com. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll speak to comedian and actress Suni Reyes. Don't go anywhere. So our next guest is an actress, comedian, writer, and director who's been paving her way through notable shows such as Comedy Central's Nora from Queens, FBI Most Wanted, and Billions. She started her career as a dancer and has several off-Broadway credits under her belt. And well, for the past decade, Suni, that's her name, has been performing improv, sketch, and stand-up. And well, during the pandemic, her homemade parodies went viral, and she states while going viral, she didn't catch the virus. Most recently, she guest starred on the new HBO Max hit series Gordita Chronicles and is in the new satirical horror movie American Carnage. Everyone, please welcome actress, comedian, and friend Suni Reyes. Hey, Suni.
Oh, thank you. What a beautiful intro. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you. And I just love, like, even your bio is comedic. So,
Right.
You don't get called because he's like, well, it went viral, but I didn't catch the virus. Okay.
Keep them on their toes, you know? Bios are so like, oh, do I really have to say this? All right, I guess. But hey, remember who I am.
Exactly. And what I didn't mention is that you're also hosting comedy night at Queensboro Restaurant in Jackson Heights, Queens. And I think it's more because I'm so excited about these new projects that you're in. I'm watching. I think I'm on like episode 5 of Gordita Chronicles, and I was so excited when I saw your face. I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta have Suni back on, because the last time we had you on air, it was in studio when we could hug each other, and you were doing something at a Museo del Barrio, and you continue to forge forward and get these wonderful roles. And so let's talk about you, Mama. Let's talk about Gordita. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Gordita was it was the first job right after the pandemic. Like it was very rough. I finished that show at Museo del Barrio, the very Merry Barrio comedy show. There was a holiday show. We all got together. I got to hug you, like you said. And then we lost everything as artists. We lost our community. We lost the auditions where it was like crickets. Nothing happened. Some of us lost other things, and it was a very hard time, you know. And Gordita came right toward the end of that little 2-year hiatus. And I was very grateful. I got to audition for the lead role, and they remember me from that audition, and that's how I got called back to do one of the roles of the neighbors, Ingrid. And I was so happy when I was like, oh my gosh, like this is great. It's a show about this Latina journalist that is retelling her story of growing up in Miami in the 1980s as a chubby girl with this like super colorful Dominican family. And it is such an inclusive show, not only with body positivity, but you know, the diversity of Latino characters that they have in it is funny. Like, it is a funny show.
I know.
You know, so it's like to have a Latino comedy show out there right now. It felt really special to be a part of it, and it's shot in Puerto Rico. What? I got to see my mom. I got to see her.
Oh my gosh, how exciting for you. How exciting. I gotta be honest with you, I was so excited when I saw your face. I was like, oh my God, Suni. You know, being a coffee snob. Yes, of course.
Yeah, it was such a fun, and I'm playing a Colombian character, so it was also fun to explore that accent, and like just to see, like, you know, like we have these little things that we hold on to as Latinos. No, but my people do this better, but my people do this better, but, and at the end of the day, it's like, y'all, we're good. We're not drinking el café aguao ese de los Estados Unidos. Our coffee, all of our coffees are good.
I love how you did it in Spanish. You're like, well, you know, for those who need to know what I said.
Right.
Tienes que entender. funny. You're funny. I love it. And so, and I do want to say, aside from it just being a Latino-driven, body positive, and comical, it's very clever. It's very clever in the way the story is told, the inside and the revisiting and the narration. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm so proud of you. And congratulations on it. And may it get picked up for another season. It's currently
Please,
streaming
please.
on HBO Max. And so, just for clarity purposes, you said you started shooting this right after the pandemic, or rather in the tail end of I guess somewhat. I don't know where we're at now,
I
because
know. What's
we're
time?
not in
What's time?
post. We're not in post pandemic. We're not.
It's, it's like after I say lockdown pre-lockdown, lockdown, and post-lockdown, but the pandemic is still happening.
Right. So we'll say like 2021. We'll say
Right, the end of it. Yeah, the end of 2021. Yeah.
the end of 2021. So that was a pretty quick turnaround as far as them rolling it out.
Yeah, definitely. It was, unfortunately, we're still fighting very hard in Hollywood to get money for our projects, for Latino projects, and it's a miracle when they get approved, and then the next step is to get the money. And what that means is like you have less time to shoot because they only give you this budget and run, so I guess that's that's it. Also, it has two sides. Is you're rushing, and there's not a lot of it's not a big budget, but it also makes the project like more meaningful, I guess, because you want to make it so good, and for it to be watched. So you just roll it out. Hey, it's ready here for the masses.
And the other thing I really like about it too is, aside from the young little gordita who's like the main character, who is so confident. What her name is, Olivia Goncalves, right?
Yes, she's amazing.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, ¿dónde encontraron esta muchachita?
No, she's the best. I just found out we did the how you say, the screening of like the opening night here in New York City, and I got to meet her and talk a little bit more about her experience, and I just found out that she this is her first acting experience. She was not an actor.
Oh,
She literally would submitted a video with other talented girls, and her little homemade video was so good, and so her personality is so charming. She's so funny. I heard that she did a split in the video. So they were like, she's the one. Like, she was just like so confident, even though she's very young, but she's so mature in that way that she's like embracing who she is, and just seeing that, witnessing that makes you feel like so much better about everything.
I agree. And so I really want to make sure that we talk about American Carnage. But before we jump into that topic, I also want to share with everyone that, this project has some pretty big names attached to it. And I really appreciate that too. And I think it's important that we mention that Eva Longoria is one of the executive producers, and Zoe Saldaña is one of the executive producers. And I know Dasha Polanco is involved. I don't know if it's as a producer, but
She's the narrator. She's narrating the voice of
she's the narrator. I kept trying to figure out. I'm like, I see her name, but what is she?
I
I don't see
know.
her. Right. Okay. So
She's gordita, but the adult that is narrating her story as a little girl.
Oh my gosh! I hope I didn't give anything away, because I haven't finished watching the
Oh,
series.
I know. But watch it, everyone. Watch it so we get renewed. We have to watch.
No, it's really, I'm enjoying it so much. So much. Pero anyway, before we go, I want to make sure that we talk about American Carnage, because American Carnage also has this flavorful cast. And I know you play the mom in this. We're going to show a clip of it. Pero the concept is really weird.
Yes.
It makes it interesting.
Yes, it is a satirical horror movie, which means it has social political commentary, but through the lens of horror, which I am not a fan of. Like, I don't watch horror movies, but when I got the script, I was like, wait a minute. It's kind of like, Get Out, the Jordan Peele's movie.
Yes, yeah, the Peele
It's
movie,
like Get
yeah.
Out. It's like the Latino immigrant version of Get Out. And the beautiful part about it is like the lead family, the lead roles are very diverse, but the lead family is an Afro-Latino family. It's a Dominican family, immigrant family that it gets separated, and the kids are sent to this facility that it's scary. And it mirrors what is happening, at the border, and how the families got separated, and how we don't know what is going on in there. We don't know what happened to these kids in cages, and how all of a sudden we don't talk about it. So this writer and producer, Diego Halivis, and his brother Julio, they really went into like this horror genre to express the horrors of the immigration policy here in the United States.
Right, except they went extreme, right? Because they brought him into like a senior citizens home, right? Because it
Yeah.
shows in the trailer, or I think, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, but then there's other things going on there that are supernatural. So it's got this mosh posh of innuendos going on in
Right.
storytelling.
Yeah, a lot of metaphors, and it's funny, it's satirical, so then they use humor, so there are parts in the dialogue, that it's like, oh, there's humor in the way that we interact, the characters interact with each other, but the circumstances that they're in is the part that's scary. So I love that duality where like the characters are not, it's not like what you did last summer.
Right.
Kind of like we're all like speaking in like code words. No, it's a very natural dialogue. People can go and laugh at it, and then see the scary part and be like, oh wow, I see what you did there. And the effects they came up with, like it came out really, I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how this is gonna come out, because again, I don't really watch horror movies, but this one you gotta watch. It's poignant, it's funny. You can watch it on demand on like Amazon, and it's in New York City at Cinema Village, in the East Village playing, so you gotta check it out.
Well, I'm really happy for you, and I'm happy that you're here to share it with our viewers. And when I say I'm happy for you, because I know during the pandemic you were over there creating your own content to keep yourself occupied. And I mean, granted, you went viral, but it's certainly different for you to get out there and be on sets and be part of the shift that's occurring, because this is also predominantly Latino cast. So and I love all the work that you do, Suni. So thank you for making the time to always come and share it with our viewers and with me.
Thank you so much for your support, for seeing the efforts, because the general audience sees the final product, but the path is a very rough path, especially nowadays, and after the pandemic that's still going on. So it is, I am very grateful for your support, and for the spotlight, for for people to get to see these projects, so we can see each other on TV more, and more of them can happen. We can then, if this is successful, more writers will get their shows produced, more actors will work. So I truly appreciate it. And the same, that I think all the most wonderful things about you, so it's the love is mutual.
That's wonderful. And thank you for your transparency and everything that you do and everything that you say. It doesn't go unnoticed. And I want you guys to really take note of what she said, because that's how we get our movies made. It's like we have to support it. We have to show up for it. So once again, that's Suni Reyes, who is actress and comedian. And if you're interested in more on her, you can go to her Instagram account at Suni_Reyes_. But we are encouraging you to check out the hit series Gordita Chronicles, currently streaming on HBO Max, and of course the American Carnage film that is now playing in theaters and on Amazon Demand. We need to support each other, so make sure you click on hit. All right, stay tuned. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
The Latin American Photo Festival by the Bronx Documentary Center has returned for its 5th year. This festival is the only one dedicated to Latin American photography in the city and is free and open to all.
there's a high population of Latinos here, so it's very important for us when people walk up the streets and they can see the banners, they can connect it with these kind of projects.
The festival features large, compelling images captured by emerging and established award-winning photographers. The images are displayed both indoors and outdoors, sprawled across Melrose in the South Bronx, including at a community garden and at Immaculate Conception Church. With the community as a backdrop, the artists invite us to explore stories about family, memory, culture, and other social issues.
This work is titled Danzantes de la Historia in Spanish. Maybe in English could be History Dancers. And it's a tradition with about 300 years in El Salvador.
I photographed 34 historic baseball figures of the Dominican Republic, from the first one who came to the United States, Mr. Osvaldo Virgil, until the still active players like Albert Pujols. So there's this new generation that is an inspiration for the young kids in Dominican Republic.
Skandip is a photographic interactive experience that explores 15 stories of the queer community in Quito. The interactive park basically is 2 images, one on top of the other, and you have to move your fingers up and down in order to discover the story. So it's very crucial that you do that because the 2 images depend on one another.
The Latin American Photo Festival also features nostalgic photographs from Nueva Yorkinos, a beloved digital archive documenting and preserving family photos and stories submitted by Latino and Caribbean New Yorkers throughout the boroughs.
My mom made this along with her bare hands, through a susu, through, saving American dream. I like to think that we're hitting a cusp in America and New York where a lot of people are getting displaced. And what makes New York so beautiful is the different cultures, the different entities, the different love, the different food that you find here. And this was just an amazing way to encapsulate that.
The picture behind me is my kindergarten graduation with both of my parents who have supported me throughout all my life. And definitely giving this as an honor and a preservation and kind of just shouting out our culture via Nueva Yorkinos and just kind of creating that sense of community.
I support Nueva Yorkinos and the Bronx Documentary Center because I believe that you have to preserve this history. You have to preserve these stories of a lot of the pioneers that came to the Bronx and pretty much were here when everybody else was giving up on the South Bronx.
The 5th annual Latin American Photo Festival will be on view in Melrose until July 31st. Visit BronxDoc.org for a map of exhibition locations and more. Reporting for BronxNet, Sonji Lopez.
It's been a hot summer and a hot summer for sports too. We begin our look at sports with the Bronx Athlete of the Week. This installment goes to a Brooklyn hoop star making good here in the BxNet star. We'll see for how long. Kevin Durant built a basketball court here in the borough recently. The Kevin Durant Charity Foundation, KDCF, completed its 26th basketball court in the Bronx. So far this year, new courts were also finished in Harlem and in Brooklyn. In addition to building courts in the Empire State, the foundation has constructed other courts in California, Texas, Washington, and Oklahoma. Internationally, KDCF has built courts in Taiwan, Germany, China, and India as well. Hoping that the Nets and Durant work things out, rumors swirling lately that he could be heading to the Boston Celtics. Boston, of all places, my goodness. KD headlines here at number 5. Meantime, speaking of notable Bronx basketball courts, the Hoops in the Sun All-Star Weekend was a hit. It always is. Sunday culminated with the annual All-Star Games, including the men's matchup, which saw Bolden Mac from Long Island take on the Hits All-Stars at Orchard Beach here in the Bronx. Hits, All-Stars, top, Bolden Mac. Visit hoopsinthesun.com for more. The Judge Report. The Judge Report comes in here at number 3. Aaron Judge has shown little signs of stopping as he continues to hit mammoth home runs for the Yankees. He ended the week with 37 dingers in 97 games. Now let's do some math here on the show. Expand that out to 162 regular season games. He would hit 62 home runs on the season. Projections are calling for 57 since it might be tough for him to keep this pace, and of course, play in all of those remaining games. 57-62 keeps him on pace with challenging Roger Maris for the Yankee record of home runs in a season at 61 in 1961. Number 37 came in the third inning of last Sunday afternoon, 6-0 win at Oriole Park in Baltimore, 456 feet. Yankees take 2 of 3 from the O's. In at 2 on a hot, sunny day in London, thousands of baseball-hungry fans dressed up in all of their favorite baseball gear traveled to Crystal Palace Park to watch the Yankees outslug the Red Sox in the final round of the first FTX MLB Home Run Derby X. Our buddy Nick Swisher leading the Yanks past the Red Sox like old times. Check out MLB.com for more on this story. Baseball growing internationally. You love to see it. We'll connect some more legends here in this story, too, with the annual Baseball Hall of Fame inductions. Boston legend David Ortiz headlined a class of 7 last weekend in Cooperstown. Among the 7, longtime Yankee broadcaster Jim Cott and the late Brooklyn Dodgers and Mets great Gil Hodges. Congrats to the latest class to join Cooperstown. And at number 1, our motorsport recap. IndyCar was in Iowa for a Saturday and Sunday doubleheader last weekend. Pato O'Ward won on Sunday. It's the second win of the season for the Mexican driver. He finished second on Saturday and remains firmly in the IndyCar title race with 5 races remaining on the schedule. Meantime, in a stunning turn of events in NASCAR, Chase Elliott has been declared the winner of last Sunday's M&M's Fan Appreciation 400 after Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch were disqualified following failed post-race inspections. Elliott also won the Superstar Racing Experience, SRX for short, season finale last weekend with our friend Marco Andretti holding on to win the championship. Marco wins by 2 points over Ryan Newman. Newman, of course, won the Stafford Speedway feature during our coverage earlier this month in Connecticut. Afterward, Andretti told CBS Sports that he'd broken his wrist in the incident-packed race, but forced himself to ignore the pain. It was painful to see Charles Leclerc in Sunday's Formula One finish in the French Grand Prix, especially if you are a Ferrari fan. Leclerc's unforced error leaves his F1 title bid in tatters. He simply lost his Ferrari around a corner late in the race after winning pole and pretty much sitting pretty in France. The mistake means Leclerc is now 63 points adrift of Max Verstappen in the championship with 10 races remaining on the calendar. Max won the French GP for the second straight year. It may have been tough to get to France to see Formula One style cars, but New Yorkers and Bronxites had a chance to catch some amazing open wheel machines in Brooklyn recently, thanks to an annual street course courtesy of Formula E. More on this story in my C-list. Stay tuned. Street courses are, the in thing pretty much right now when it comes to motorsports these days. NASCAR this week announcing a Chicago street race on tap for the 2023 Cup Series. That race weekend will take place July 1st and July 2nd, 2023. NASCAR provided media an animated look at what Chicago will look like. Check this out. Woohoo! So cool, awesome. We've clearly moved well past renderings. We shift gears to the back end of 5-on-5 for a look ahead. We'll stick with racing. F1 has the Hungarian GP Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here in the States. IndyCar and NASCAR are back in Indianapolis for the now annual triple header Saturday and Sunday. Great racing coming up from the Brickyard. And in motorcycle racing, next up is the MotoGP British Grand Prix on Sunday, August 7th at Silverstone. MotoGP will be coming off its summer break after this weekend. Coming off the Subway Series in Queens, Yanks continue their home series with Kansas City tonight in the Bronx and throughout the weekend. The Mets are in Miami this weekend. Prior to the Yankee series earlier this week, the Amazons played San Diego at Citi Field. That matchup featured Padres pitcher Nick Martinez, formerly of Fordham and Rose Hill, right here in the Bronx. That takes us to the 4th spot for a look at New York City FC. The Major League Soccer team from the Bronx will be in Montreal Saturday night. That game gets going at 7:30 p.m. And at 5, on the back end here of 5-on-5, on this date in Bronx sports history, we flash back to July 29th, 1966 at Comiskey Park. The Bronx Bombers edged the Chicago White Sox 2-1 on Mickey Mantle's 14th homer in 24 games. Mick moves ahead of Yanks great Lou Gehrig into 6th place on the home run list with the blast. It was Mantle's 21st of the season. Al Downing goes 8+ innings for the Yankees to pick up the win. The Yankees are, however, In the unaccustomed territory, this is their 47th win that year versus 52 defeats. Not the best of times for championships for the Yanks in the late 60s. The Mick, of course, being one of the few bright spots for the Pinstripers. To the C-list for a bright spot for race fans here in the Big Apple. It's always a treat for us to head out to Red Hook every summer for the annual Formula E showdown in Brooklyn. It's the only race of its kind in New York City, and honestly, it's a chance to see the future on display. Formula E's founding mission is to race through the streets of the most iconic cities in the world with a grid full of the best racing drivers and teams around to show just what sustainable mobility is capable of, driving electric vehicles in a race for a better, cleaner future. Antonio Felix da Costa secured his team's first victory this season with a convincing win in round 12 in Formula E. The winning driver called New York City Formula E's version of F1's Monaco, adding, open quote, "It's such an incredible city," close quote. Here's more.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure about my place in the race. I think we had decent pace, looking at a little bit of the yesterday's race, but these guys are so quick right now, and everyone's so close to the limit that it's you need perfect driving, no mistakes, and that's so hard to do.
For the first time in 8 seasons, Formula E's Brooklyn E-Prix doubleheader event was a sellout on both days. Rain shortened the action on Saturday, but Sunday's finale made up for it. Sadly, the future of the New York race is in limbo, at least for next season, with construction due in that part of Red Hook. When Formula E released the schedule for next season, the city was not listed. I'm hopeful it does return next year or even the year after. It's an electric time here in the city. 4 races remain in Formula E this year, starting with London this weekend. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Open Hybrid. Our last guest is a star on the rise who is surely making a name for himself in music. He's been making some noise over the last few years as a social media butterfly with his viral TikTok videos and entertaining vlogs via his YouTube channel. Growing up as a kid in a musical family, it was pretty much inevitable, we'll say, for him to be engulfed in music. And now, more than ever, he's wasting no time working on his craft for what is sure to be a show-stopping debut project. Here to share more, we welcome singer and songwriter Jayye Michael. Hello and welcome.
Hi, what's going on?
What is going on? Let's kick it off with your whole viral experience on TikTok and how that even rolled out. Let's start there.
I started posting on TikTok Literally like right before the pandemic really hit. That's when my first video was posted. I can't remember what I posted, but whatever I posted, it did garner some views or whatever. My first TikTok page got about maybe 40,000 followers, and my second one, the current one I have now, is about 50,000, somewhere around that line. I want to say my first viral video had to be something with my mom, something around that sort. But yeah, I was always going viral on TikTok, and that's kind of how it really started.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the music style, the genre, and I guess why you have now released your first single, and then the the aspect of your style too, because your style is very interesting as well. Even though you look straight laced today.
Thank you. My music style is more R&B, soulful. I like to write music that has meaning. Anything that I write, it's a story behind it. My style, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. I dress how I feel. Sometimes it's out there, sometimes it's not. It's just kind of all over the place. I pull inspiration from the craziest things.
So who makes your costumes? Because I saw a performance of you wearing this top that looked like it had a cape. It was so dope. I was like, oh gosh, who made that? I like that.
So it's actually from a website called Or2, and that's not how it's actually supposed to be worn. It's supposed to, how it's originally supposed to be worn, I didn't like it. It wasn't out there enough for me. So I kind of turned it into like a cape moment. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then in your video, the actual video of the song that you're going to be performing for us, I know you're wearing the full fur. Like, you're very self-expressed is my point.
Yes. It's a funny story behind that fur. It's actually my mom's fur. It's older than me, older than my older brother. He's like in his mid-20s. So yeah, that fur has some history behind it.
Funny. And so in your music genre, and just basically coming out and just suggesting that the support of your loved ones, your fan base, and the LGBT community, like, how important was that to the movement of your success?
It was really important. You know, I have a lot of support behind me, and that's what really pushes me to do what I want to do. There's a lot of people who look up to me, which is really surprising to me. I have a lot of people in my DMs like, you inspired me to, get my nails done, or, you're the reason why I'm so outgoing now, or your videos, your blogs, they help me feel better. That all of that keeps me going and helps me do what I want to do.
So just out of curiosity, have you always been like that, or is this something that you just embraced about yourself, right? Meaning, like, were you always into getting long nails? Your nails did like that, and dressing. I want to say your style of dressing is very. I would have thought you were a fashion designer, right? So, and I was going to use the term flamboyant, but it's more than that. It's not even because it's not. You're like in between. You're like this. It's elegant, but yeah, it's feminine, yet it's kind of masculine. It's got all these things going on, and the way you sing is the same thing. It has those elements as well.
Well, I like to say, if anybody asks me to describe my style, I always say it's androgynous. It doesn't have gender. I can wear a crop top with a pair of baggy jeans, and I can wear a purse, and I still can make it look masculine yet feminine at the same time. I haven't always been like this. It kind of happened really when I went to college. That's when I kind of just took initiative and was like, look, I'm gonna do what I want to do. At this point, I'm pretty much grown. I'm about to be 19. Can't nobody really tell me what to and what not to do. So I got my first set of nails done for my 18th birthday. After that, it was on and pop from there. They got longer and longer and longer. I started growing them out.
Let me see them. Oh, yes, you really go in.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love it. It's a way for me to express myself. I'm a very creative person. So any way I can be creative, I'm on board with it 10 toes. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, just going back to what you were saying and you know, being in college, becoming a certain age, and then embracing like how you feel and how you choose to express yourself. And I'm really bringing it out because in case somebody's watching and they want to understand, like if they're, you know, they're struggling with mixed emotions of what's right and what's wrong, it's like, what is right and what's wrong in your world?
Honestly, there is no right and wrong. There is no right and wrong. I feel like you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, you only live once. If you want to get your nails done, go get your nails done. Like, come on now. It's 2022.
That to me, that's like the beauty of living in New York, because New York happens to be for me one of the places that embraces everything about everyone. I mean, of course, depending on what neighborhood you're in, but on a general note, it's kind of like ain't nobody paying attention to those little details. Everybody's like, oh, okay, must be from the village, must be from.
Exactly.
But there's something to be said when you're able to operate so freely. And so I just wondered, like, when you embraced your freeing yourself as such, like, what did that open up for you?
Well, I have to say, my mom is really what helped along this journey, because I'm a type of person where if she says it's okay, if she don't care, nobody else's opinions care. Okay. So when I got my nails done and she was like, oh, okay, that's different. They cute, but that's different. You know, she didn't care. So I kept going along with it. You know, she helped me in this journey of just becoming who I am. And she's the one I can thank for that. I have a great support system, and I wouldn't be as far along in this journey of just being as free as I am without really the people in my household, you know?
All right. So this is beautiful that you're sharing is the people closest to you, right? Because some people could get a little caught up with the hype of you know, going viral on social media, and you know, that's its own entity, that's its own world. Like, how close do you get to people on social media?
I don't get close to people at all in general, actually, because I never really know if they're trying to be cool with me because of who I am or because of who I'm connected to. This has really been a thing for as long as I can remember. You know, people just trying to get close to me because who my mom is or what I can bring to the table. Because one thing about me, I'm a very good friend. Okay, they definitely help keep me humble. I feel like there's a lot of people who definitely get caught up in the hype and they start to change. I think what also helps is that I'm not new to this. I've been around this for as long as I can remember. I've grown up around somebody who's been on tour and has sold millions of records. So,
and you're not saying her name. Why are you doing that? Why don't you just say her name?
Coco from SWV. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, I grew up.
That's your mama. That's your
mama. That's my mom. You know, I grew up around this, so you know, it's not new, you know, and she's humble, so I can't help but to be humble. And I just had to talk with her not so long ago. I was like, when this takes off, if you see me starting to change, if you see me getting a big head, I want you to slap me as hard as you can and talk some sense into me, because I'd hate for me to start changing and I lose the people around me who are actually down for me. So that's big in my book, staying humble and staying true to yourself, because that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, none of this stuff really matters. It only matters is you being true to yourself.
Oh my gosh, so beautifully noted. And what a wonderful way to end this segment before you present for us. Oh my gosh, here's to exercising humility for the rest of our lives. Thank you for those words of encouragement. Jay Michael, everyone, singer, songwriter. And well, we want to make sure that you don't go anywhere, because when we return, Jay Michael's going to perform for us. You don't want to miss.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Open, here now to perform his debut single, "I'll Never Be." Let's give it up for Jayye Michael.
Let's go. Me and you could never be. Why can't you see all the things you've done to me? Made it harder for me to love and trust someone. So baby, please, me and you could never be. Never be. Don't call me when you get this message, 'cause all you did to me, you won't see heaven. I gave you all my heart and you just went and tore it right apart. I don't know why you played me like you did. So pack it and make it quick. I never wanna see your face again. That's why you could never be. Yeah. Why can't you see all the things you've done to me? Made it harder for me to love and trust someone. So baby, please, me and you could never be. Never be. The infidelities, are you regret them? Begging for a second chance, you need to get to stepping. You put me down, knocked off my ground, and I still need to know. Oh baby, why? You played me like you did. So pack your shit and make it quick. I never want to see your face again. I traded you, put you in a mood, took you to my hood. But baby, you're no good for me, yeah. Honestly, it's sad, 'cause I really wanted you so bad. But you're no good for me, baby. And you could never be. Why can't you see all the things you done to me? Yeah. Made it harder for me to love and trust someone. Yeah. That's why me and you could never. Never be. Me and you could never. Why can't you see all the things you've done to me? Made it harder for me to love and trust someone. So baby, please, me and you could never be. Never be, yeah.
Me and You Could Never Be. That was Jayye Michael, everyone. His debut single, Never Be, is out now on all streaming platforms. And for more information on Jayye, you can check him out on social media at Jayye, which is 2 Y's, Michael, at Jayye Michael. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios.